System of equations using substitution with nonlinear equations. What are they? System of equations are two or more equations that share variables. Why? Can be used to help find which job offer is better. Interesting fact: peacock is the name of the colorful plumaged male peafowl. The females are called peahens. Now, let's take a look at the example we're going to discuss in today's video. Let's read the steps. Step 1, draw. Step 2, pick the variable. Step 3, follow order of operations. Now, let's read the question. Solve the following system and then sketch the graph of each equation, where x plus y squared is equal to 6 is equation 1, and x minus 2y equals 3 is equation 2. Now, let's solve for each variable in both equations, so we can see which one is the least complicated. Let's start with x plus y squared is equal to 6. Solving for x gets us x is equal to negative y squared plus 6. Solving for y gets us y is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative x plus 6. Let's continue with x minus 2y is equal to 3. Solving for x gets us x equals 2y plus 3. Solving for y gets us y is equal to negative x halves minus 3 halves. Now we need to pick one, so we can substitute it into the other equation and solve for the system. But which one? Well, that's up to you. Let's go over each one. The first one, y has a power of 2, and the second one, we have a square root, and we have plus or minus. The third one, both powers of the variables are 1, as well as the fourth one, but in the fourth one, we have fractions. So let's choose the third one. Now, let's add a graph, since we need to sketch one. Which equation did we use to solve for the variable? It was x minus 2y is equal to 3. Which variable did we solve for? It was x. So let's add 2y to both sides, so x is equal to 2y plus 3. Now, let's write down the equation we haven't used yet. X plus y squared is equal to 6. What do you think the next step is? We need to substitute 2y plus 3 for x. So now we have the quantity of 2y plus 3 plus y squared is equal to 6. Now, let's put the terms in order. So we have y squared plus 2y plus 3 is equal to 6. Let's subtract 6 on both sides, so we can have 0 on the right hand side. And 3 minus 6 is minus 3. So we have y squared plus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0. There are multiple ways to continue. One way is a quadratic formula, but luckily for us, this is factorable. So y squared plus 2y minus 3 becomes the quantity of y plus 3 times the quantity of y minus 1. Now we can set each linear factor equal to 0. So we have y plus 3 is equal to 0, or y minus 1 is equal to 0. Let's solve for y plus 3 is equal to 0 by adding negative 3 to both sides, so y is equal to negative 3. Now let's solve for y minus 1 is equal to 0 by adding 1 to both sides, so y is equal to 1. Now we know our two outputs. What do we need to find next? We need to find our two inputs. We need to substitute the two outputs into either equation. Let's use x minus 2y is equal to 3. First, let's substitute negative 3 for y. So now we have x minus 2 times negative 3 is equal to 3, and minus 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So we have x plus 6 is equal to 3. Let's subtract 6 on both sides, and 3 minus 6 is negative 3. So x is equal to negative 3. Now we know our first point, negative 3, negative 3. Let's plot it on the graph, and there we have it. Now we need to find our second input. Once again, let's use the equation x minus 2y is equal to 3. Let's substitute 1 for y. So now we have x minus 2 times 1 is equal to 3. And minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. So we have x minus 2 is equal to 3. Let's add 2 to both sides, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So x is equal to 5. Now we know our second point, 5, 1. Let's add it to the graph, and there it is. Since we know these points are points of intersection, we can graph x minus 2y is equal to 3, since the line passes through both of them. As for x plus y squared is equal to 6, we need one more point. What do you think that point is? It is the vertex of our sideways parabola, which is 6, 0. How did we get that point? Let's show you. First, let's solve for x by subtracting y squared on both sides. So x is equal to negative y squared plus 6. Now we can use the formula y is equal to negative b over 2a. What do you think a and b are? A is negative 1 and b is 0. Now we can substitute negative 1 for a and 0 for b. So now we have y is equal to negative 0 all over 2 times negative 1. After we simplify, y is equal to 0. Now we found our output. Let's find our input. So let's write down x is equal to negative y squared plus 6. Let's substitute 0 for y. So now we have x is equal to negative 0 squared plus 6. And negative 0 squared is 0, and 0 plus 6 is 6, so x is equal to 6. Now we found our point, 6, 0, which is the vertex of the sideways parabola. Now let's add one more point for our sideways parabola, negative 3, 3, so we can get a better idea on how to graph it. Let's graph the sideways parabola, and that is example 1. Now it is your turn, so go ahead and pause the video here so you can take your time to answer this question, and I'll show you the results in 3, 2, and 1. Here's part 1. Here's part 2. Did you get it correct? Fantastic. If not, there's always tomorrow.